JD Vance is a really interesting figure to me, and I've been covering him in the last couple of weeks because I think it's a very unusual choice for VP. And I think that there's a lot that goes into looking at him. So first of all, I did read his memoir when it came out, and I found it quite moving, and I have followed him ever since. And I think it's extremely rare for someone to experience what he has experienced in his lifetime. Very few people come from the circumstances that he came from, dealing with, a single parent family, abuse, addiction, financial hardship, all of those things, to then find themselves at an Ivy League university. That alone is extremely rare in our culture. But then to find themselves being a senator, and then to find themselves being a VP pick. I mean, this is enough to make someone's head spin. I mean, how do you navigate that leap from one world to a completely different world? And I think about that theme a lot. I just reprinted an essay from Alex Perez talking about this, about the idea of cultural adjacency, that so much of our discourse is people from all the same backgrounds talking. We don't have a lot of people from different backgrounds contributing to the conversation. And I think we really need that more. And for someone to be that level in American politics, I think is a good thing. I think that's a really positive thing. So that's the first thing. I also have a little bit of a more personal connection to JD Vance in that there's a conservative politician in Canada named Jamil Javani, and he was an author and a radio host. And I used to book him when I was a radio producer. And then after I left the mainstream media, he came on my podcast several times and has since run for office and has been elected as a conservative member of parliament. Jamil Javani is very, very good friends with JD Vance and went to Yale together. And so I have so much respect for Jamil Javani that I am extending a little more grace to JD Vance, because I want to understand what's going on there, and I trust Jamil's judgment. I think the last thing I would think about with JD Vance as well is what you're seeing right now is a tug of war within the Republican Party. You have these old free market fundamentalists who are pro-free trade and against organized labor and all the things you might think of, like Reaganite country club Republicans. But you have this new wave in the Republican Party, which is epitomized by JD Vance, that is exploring this idea of working class conservatism. And a lot of the positions they take up are positions that are very familiar to me as someone on the left. They are anti-war. They are anti the US being the world's policeman. They are pro-organized labor. You saw the Teamsters president at the RNC recently. They are pro-working class dignity. They are wary of corporate power and skeptical of big tech. And all of these positions that they have are very reminiscent to me as someone on the left. So if we take JD Vance's word that these are policies that he's interested in and look at his record, his track record, and Li Feng recently had a really interesting piece of what JD Vance has done in terms of trying to regulate corporate power, I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had there. As for the childless cat ladies, I'm a childless dog lady, as you know.
So am I. You're in good company. Yep.
I can see why that comment really stings. I can see it. I mean, I understand the people who are upset about it. I'm just not that upset about it.